Hey guys, Decrypts here, and today I'm bringing you a video on my personal best settings for Apex Legends. Now, these settings won't be the same for everybody. You will need to make some little adjustments, but these are what I find that I do the best within game. These are the settings I was using when I've dropped my 29 kill games, my 27, all plus 20s I've dropped with these settings. Make sure that you're just tuning them to your perfect settings, otherwise it won't work as well. The first setting I'll be taking you over is the interact prompt style, and this basically means that the box, like when you look at items on the floor, how big the boxes appear on your screen. You can either have compact or default. I prefer to use compact just to keep everything smaller so it's not just taking up the entire screen as you see on the video now. This setting is literally just personal preference, so just pick whichever one you want. It's a lot cleaner when it's a lot smaller, so I'd go for compact personally, but it's completely up to you. This button hints one is literally just personal preference. I've left her on from when I installed the game, so I haven't really changed her at all, to be fair. Crosshair damage feedback, I've got it set to with shield icon, as you'll see in the next little clips. When you're shooting at enemies, it'll let you know when you're doing shield damage. It'll also let you know when you've broke the shield, and there'll be an audio cue too, which just sounds like armor snapping. But it's well worth putting it on. It's helping me out to know when I'm hitting shield or just hitting flesh damage. I should have mentioned this also works with grenade damage too. This next setting is just purely personal preference. It's damage numbers, and you can either have stacked or floating. I personally use floating because to me it just looks a lot cleaner, and I know how much damage each bullet is doing in different guns, which is quite handy for me to know. But you could have stacked, which shows you the overall damage of the clip that you've just hit. When I'm shooting the target, the first one is stacked, and then the second one is floating. You'll notice the big difference in between. But I personally use the second one, which is floating, because like I said, I just prefer it. If you really wanted to as well, there's the option to turn it off, or you could just use both, but I would just use one. Ping, opacity, and obituaries I've just left on default. Obituaries is basically the kill feed that comes up on the top right. Incoming damage feedback is obviously the indicator which tells you where the bullets are coming from when you're getting shot at or where the grenade is. I favour 3D over 2D. It's completely up to you. It's another one that's personal preference, but just keep it on though, never turn it off. The last 5 settings I didn't touch. It's completely up to you whether you put streamer mode on or not. I personally haven't bothered putting it on this game. I don't feel the need to, but like I said, it's completely up to you. Now moving on to the controller settings, my button layout is button puncher, and I use button puncher because sometimes when I'm in a gunfight I have the tendency to press the right stick in, causing me to punch halfway through a gunfight, and that's not good. But if you put button puncher on, the worst thing you're gonna do is crouch, and sometimes it helps you out, so it's worth putting it on. You can go with any of the other settings if you want to, but looking on Twitter and looking at other people's settings, everybody goes for button puncher or default, so just pick one of the two. And if you don't use a scuff controller, it makes sliding down hills and just sliding in general a lot easier because the button is right there under your thumb then. With interacting and reloading, you can have 3 settings, and they are hold to use, tap to reload, tap to use, hold to reload, or tap to use and reload, and I personally go for tap to use and reload. So the last thing you want to do is be stuck in a gunfight and having to hold square to reload. You just want to be able to tap it and quickly get them bullets in the gun again. And with the crouch button and the aim button, you want to put crouch on toggle and aim on hold. If you put the aim button on toggle, you'll have to press L2 twice just to stop aiming on the sights, and that's got me killed a couple of times when I tried it, so it's not worth it. Sometimes holding crouch can be better, but I use toggle and I always have done, so that's why I've just stuck to on Apex. Now moving on to the most important setting in the game, which is sensitivity. Now you really want to play about with these and find the best one for you. I've gone with 4 sensitivity and 3 ADS, and I've stuck to that from the very beginning. And the last thing you want to do is just keep changing it in every single game, because you'll find you'll die a lot. You won't be able to get used to one setting because it's all muscle memory when it comes to sensitivities. But these also work with your response curves. Now the different kind of response curves are classic, steady, fine aim, high velocity, and linear. And if you were to go max sense and high velocity, you would not know what you're doing because it's insane. You can try it if you wanted to see what I mean, but just don't use it in a game. I personally stick to classic. It was what was loaded on the game when I first installed it, and that's what I've used since, so I really wouldn't recommend playing about with that. I've heard steady is sort of like got like a Call of Duty feel to it, so if you want a Call of Duty feel free to use steady, but all the other ones I would stay well away from. Look dead zone I haven't touched, movement dead zone I haven't touched, inverted look, leave that off, and vibration is a personal preference as well. Some people play with it on, I personally play with it off. It's on my settings now, but on my PS4 it's completely off. Now the last setting is field of view. I play with mine on 100. You'll see the differences between them now on the screen. The lowest you can go to is 70, which brings everything really close to you, and the highest you can go is 110, which sort of just zooms out a little bit, but it feels a lot cleaner. I've toned mine down to 100 because I was sort of struggling a little bit on 110. I've heard if you use PC PC, 110 is the best, but for console, roughly 100. Or if you can use it, use 110. But a lot of people I've seen have used 100. Now that's it for my settings video, guys. So if you enjoyed it, do leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, smash that subscriber button. I've just gone over 100, which I'm really grateful of. I've heard season 1 is getting released on the 12th. I'm not sure if that's entirely true, but let's hope so we have something else to grind for. But that's it from me, guys, and thank you for watching.